folks, welcome back to DragonWorks once again. Hey, we're back on this 1972 Honda CT90 Trail 90. And I guess first of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you where we're at. If you haven't been following, you have to might back up to the first video where I did the diagnostics. To stay running or okay, right now it's about a quarter choke. That's what it seems to like. Let's see if we can let it warm a second so I can give it some drop. Yeah, just cut out on us. If it would only idle. Let's try no choke off. But let me show you where we're at, and then we got some talking to do, because you might think we're there, but it doesn't seem like we're there yet. There's more to the story. But for those who just came for the start and rev up, this is what you would expect from DragonWorks right here. This is how they do when they leave here. It was definitely on the compression stroke. All right, first kick, right? That's what you would expect, right? That's key fell out. Oh, no, the other key fell off the key ring. That was weird. How in the heck did it do that? It just came undone. Well, stranger things have happened, especially in the motorcycle world. I'm just glad I heard that. That's one of them things that happens, you don't hear it, and you're like, where did that go? Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, you guys would think, hey man, great job. Another great job, right, by DragonWorks. First kick, revs up beautifully, no hesitation, no nothing. Well, folks, it wasn't that way. Now, if you remember, bear with me. If you remember, it came in for carburetor issues. The owner had it, like I say, back at the Honda dealer. They told him the carb needed to be cleaned. So they cleaned it. It ran good for a couple months and started doing the same thing. And then I guess it sat for a while. And then they contacted me, said, hey, can you do something with it? Sure, no problem. The owner was convinced that it got some more dirt in it. And that sounded good enough for me. And so I went ahead and ordered a kit. Then I was trying to do some more diagnostics on it, and I noticed that it acted like it was more than just any idle jet. So sure enough, the carburetor kit came in. At that time, I busted open the carburetor, and I noticed it wasn't dirty, and the jet wasn't clogged up. So I went ahead and did my new gaskets and some new jets in there anyway, while I had it apart and already had the kit. No big deal. Got it back on the bike, and I had a lot of the same problems it had before I even did the carburetor. So I started doing more diagnostics, because it just seemed like, if you remember from the video, it would start and sometimes it would idle and sometimes it would stall, but it wouldn't rev up, which is got nothing to do with the idle jet, right? So I felt like the throttle was a little funny. Maybe they didn't have the needle set right or something like that, but I didn't find anything wrong with it as far as the needle goes. So carburetor done, all that kind of stuff, and I was still having issues. So, and don't mind the mess. It's been pretty hectic around here. The maid hasn't had time to get in here and clean up. Let me get the light on. There we go, now we can see. So anyway, I started going over timing and spark, clean the points, clean the plug, you know, did all this stuff because something still wasn't quite right. I noticed most of the reason it was hard to start was the ignition timing was really advanced, really far ahead. So that's one of the reasons why the bike was running pretty rough. But once I set that, I was still having these same symptoms where it was hard to start, and then when I did get it to start, well, I got it to where the hard start was gone. Okay, once I got this set and the carb was, redone, whatever, it would start and idle, but then I couldn't rev it, and sometimes it would actually just stall out. And so I was trying all kinds of different things, of course, chasing down, trying to figure out what it was. And one thing I noticed was the more I kept trying to start it, and I should have picked right up on this right away, but see that nice bright green neutral light that just came on? Sorry, the cable happens to be in the way, is what it is. That light was getting dimmer, and sometimes it would flicker and go out. So after, I don't know how long, a lot, because I was checking the spark. I had a spark tester out, chasing wires. It seemed to me that the spark was a little bit weak and that light was going dim. So I kind of figured, knowing I've had a little bit of experience here in the past with these 6-volt systems on a bunch of old Honda dirt bikes. And one thing I noticed was a lot of the bikes, newer than this one, you can run them without batteries, but they're always really hard to start. So that kind of kicked back in my head, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to hook this thing up to the charger, make sure I get a full charge, and what have you. So sure enough, got a full charge in the battery, green light came on, bright as ever, and everything was good. Started right up, and it took a couple revs, and it sounded really good, but then all of a sudden, as I'm revving it, it went right back to the same thing and died. Then it was hard to start again. So I hook it back up, charge it, same thing. So what I realized, here's the part that really, and I'll go into a little more detail about this in a second. The part that really got me was, and I'll tell you why. I went to turn the headlight on and it killed the motor, just died right away. So then I thought to myself, well, I'm going to put it on the charger and just leave it hooked up and try to run it and see what's going on there. And sure enough, boy, that thing just runs so much better. Without it hooked up, as you're revving it, I had the meter on it, the voltage would just drop really quick, and then it would either shut off or start sputtering or something. These things have a really strange electrical system on it. Let me shut that light off over there so it doesn't bother the camera. They've got a really strange system on them. The system doesn't actually charge a battery like today's modern systems do with the proper voltage regulator and all that stuff. What it does is it actually just maintains the charge that's in the battery. It doesn't really have enough to charge it, especially if you turn on the headlight and some things like that. You can be in trouble real quick if you got a weak system or a weak battery. So in saying all that, and sorry, I'm kind of trying to rush because I got so much going on. In saying that, it's looking like we got either our battery is shot, which it looks fairly new, but that could have been his problem all along. This thing might be having, and I don't want to say charging issues because it doesn't really charge, but electrical issues in the stator or somewhere in here, because it seems like if you don't have a fresh battery and or a power source hooked to it, it just ends up dying out. Let's see if I can make it do that. I've had it on the charger so long now, I don't know. But watch what happens. I'm going to rev it and see if it stalls and messes up, or I'll hit that headlight and you'll see what happens then. So we got some, basically it's boiling down to, we got more problems in the carburetor. Probably the same thing last time. They were liable to have put that battery in the same time they did the carb thing, because it looks like it also had a new set of points. And he might have just been running off of that new battery until the battery just couldn't take anymore. I'm not sure. That's where we're at, folks. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, I got it starting, running great, but there's other system on here that's fighting us. Let's see if we can get it to act like that again now for what it was doing earlier. Already, look at that. So it seemed like the more it ran, it would draw that battery down. Let's see now, we got the battery charger unhooked. And first I'll try the revving thing. If it don't conk out, I'll hit the headlight and then watch. It's going to take a while doing that, so let me see if this works this time. Yep, there it goes. So as soon as I turn the headlight on and try to rev it, isn't that crazy? It's just sitting here idle, and I'm standing here behind the camera just watching it. And you see what it did? Just idling, it dropped all the way down like that and actually shut itself off. And what I got right now is I just got my meter hooked right into the battery tender, which goes up to the battery. And that's what just happened. Look at this. Look at the voltage going back up. And the bike's sitting there with the key on. So yeah, and obviously the charger's unhooked because I got these leads hooked up to it. And look at this. Now the key's on right now, but there's no light or nothing. It's actually going, what's it doing? Going up and down or just still going up? Yeah, this is the most bizarre thing, but I wanted to show you guys. This is what's happening. This is what I'm dealing with right now. We'll get it figured out. It's Dragon Works, baby. That's crazy. Look at the voltage climbing. So something's actually pulling voltage out of it while it's running. That's really odd. I mean, other than the ignition system, but stay tuned. Okay. It died. I mean, I saw the light going dim and flickering. Okay, so we'll see where we're at. Probably got to be charged all the way back up. No, I'll show you here. Let's wait and see where it's at. Give it a second. Yeah, drop down a little bit. It's charging back up. Give it 1 second and I'll start it again and show you that it'll run perfect as long as it's plugged into there. So once again, either this battery is completely shot and not maintaining its charge, or the electrical system on this thing is weak and needs a little bit of attention. Let's see if I can do it. It's not fully charged, but let's just see if that little bit will make a difference. Light's really bright again. Starts right back up. Headlights off. It runs fine as long as you got power going in it and you're keeping the battery up. I'll turn the light on. Here it goes. Yeah, the light just went dim and went out, and I knew it was about to shut off. Just that quick. So yeah, that's not supposed to do that, folks. So to sum it up, we've got some more problems here. It could be as simple as the battery. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to get that yanked out, do a little test on it, replace if needed. Also, while I'm doing that, I'm going to try to work out this, see if it's something to do with the charging system. I originally thought it was the coil, because I was getting this weak spark, and you know, I tried that end on the cable, on the plug wire rather, and all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't doing anything. But I was really worried if it was the coil, because I don't know if many of you know, the coil is actually located in here, bolted to the top of the motor. So in order to access the coil, you have to drop the motor out of this thing just to get to the coil. So that was my next step. If I wouldn't have come across this crazy ass situation here that I discovered. But so anyway, getting to be a long video. I really appreciate if you've been hanging in there until this part. You're definitely a diehard, and I really appreciate you. I doubt many people are left at this point. But anyway, wrap it up. We got some other issues here, and we're going to get them sorted out for him, and then he'll probably be trouble-free the rest of his life with this thing. Because other than that, it seems like it's in really good shape. And yeah, it's only got 3,000 original miles or something on it. And it's definitely taken care of. So should be good to go. All right, guys, once again, thanks for watching. And I'll do another video when I get this thing all sorted out and it's right again. Peace out.